On the shores of Africa's greatest lake, there was once a tradition that left every visitor asking the same question. Why would parents willingly remove 6 healthy teeth from their own children? Was it beauty? Was it bravery? Or was it the difference between life and death? The answer takes us deep into the history of the Luo people, where a single smile carried centuries of culture, identity, and survival. Welcome to the Nyanza region of Kenya, the homeland of one of East Africa's most influential communities. A people known for their fishermen, their musicians, their storytellers, and a tradition that has fascinated anthropologists for generations. Today we are uncovering one of Kenya's most misunderstood cultural practices. Why did many Luo remove their lower front teeth? How was the procedure performed without modern hospitals? And why has the tradition almost disappeared today? The answers reveal a story far richer than most people imagine. The Luo are among the largest ethnic communities in East Africa. Their ancestors are believed to have migrated gradually from the Upper Nile region before settling around the fertile shores of the Lake Victoria centuries ago. Here, they found something precious: fresh water, rich fishing grounds, fertile land, and a place where communities could flourish. Life revolved around the lake. Before sunrise, fishermen pushed their wooden boats into the water. Women prepared nets. Children helped repair fishing equipment, while elders shared stories beneath the shade of giant fig trees. The lake wasn't simply water, it was life itself. The Luo have always been known as gifted storytellers. History wasn't preserved in books, it was preserved through songs, poems, folktales, and evening conversations around the fire. Every generation learned from one before it, not through classrooms, but through listening. An elder's words carried enormous weight, because every story contained a lesson, sometimes about courage, sometimes about family, and sometimes about survival. Among the traditions that shaped Luo identity, none was more visually distinctive than the removal of the lower front teeth. To outsiders, the practice often came as a shock, but within the community, it represented something much deeper than appearance. The procedure usually took place during adolescence or early adulthood. There was no modern dental clinic, or an aesthetic, or electrical equipment. Instead, there was an experienced traditional specialist who performed the extraction during handcrafted tools. The young person sat perfectly still. Family members gathered nearby. Elders watched closely, because this wasn't simply about removing teeth. It was about proving character. Imagine sitting in complete silence, knowing that within a few moments, 6 healthy teeth would be removed from your mouth. Most people today would probably be searching for the nearest exit, or asking, can we at least use painkillers? But among the Luo of generation past, showing fear was discouraged. Remaining calm demonstrated courage, self-control, and emotional strength, qualities expected of responsible adults. So why did the Luo remove their teeth? One explanation has been passed down for generations. Long before modern hospitals, communities sometimes faced deadly diseases such as tetanus. One of tetanus' most frightening symptoms is lockjaw. The jaw muscles tighten so severely that a patient cannot open their mouth. Without food, without water, without medicine, survival became extremely difficult. The gap created by removing the lower incisors could allow liquids to be carefully poured into the mouth, whether milk, herbal remedies, or water. That opening could become a lifeline. Many historians believe this practical medical purpose played an important role in the tradition's origin. But survival tells only part of the story. The missing teeth also became a symbol of identity. One glance at a smile could immediately tell people where someone came from. It was a visible connection to the community, a reminder of shared history, a badge of belonging. In a time before national identity cards, your smile sometimes introduced you before your name did. There was also an important lesson hidden behind the pain. Life would not always be easy. Fishing on Lake Victoria demanded endurance. Building a family demanded responsibility. Protecting a community required courage. The ceremony reminded young people that hardship could be faced with dignity. That true strength wasn't measured by muscles alone. It was measured by composure when life became difficult. Over time, the tradition also became associated with beauty within many Luo communities. Just as different cultures admired different hairstyles, jewelry, or clothing, the distinctive smile became part of cultural identity. It wasn't strange to those who grew up seeing it. It was familiar, it was normal, and it felt like home. Today, very few Luo families continue the practice. Modern medicine has eliminated many of the original health concerns. Hospitals provide safer treatment. Education has transformed healthcare, and young generations often choose different ways of expressing their cultural identity. Yet many older Luo men and women still carry the distinctive smile of earlier generations. For them, it is more than a memory. It is a living piece of history. Like many traditions around the world, the story of truth extraction reminds us of an important lesson. It is easy to judge another culture from a distance. It is much harder and far more rewarding to understand the reasons behind it. What first appears unusual often reflects generations of adaptation, belief, and survival. Standing on the shores of Lake Victoria, watching fishermen cast their nets beneath the rising African sun, you realize something profound. Culture is never random. Every tradition begins somewhere. Every custom carries a story, and every generation decides which parts of that story to carry into the future. There was another quiet purpose behind the practice. In a world without passports, national identity cards, or fingerprints stored in computers, physical features often revealed where a person came from. A distinctive smile immediately identified someone as Luo, even hundreds of kilometers away from home. It created an instant sense of belonging. Wherever they traveled, whether along the shores of the Lake Victoria or through distant trading routes, their smile silently told a story. I know who I am, and I know where I come from. Even though the practice has largely disappeared, its legacy still lives on in family stories. Many grandparents proudly recall enduring the procedure without shedding a tear, while younger generations listen with a mixture of disbelief and admiration. These conversations have become a bridge between the old and the new. They remind us that culture is not only preserved through ceremonies, but also through memories shared across generations. Sometimes, the greatest inheritance our ancestors leave behind isn't a piece of land or wealth. It is the story of who they were, and the resilience that shaped who we are today. So, why did many Luo remove their front teeth? It is not because they wanted to shock the world, or because they rejected modern medicine. It is mostly because generations before them believed the practice represented survival, identity, courage, and belonging. Today, the tradition has largely faded, but its story remains. A reminder that behind every smile, there is a history waiting to be told. Thank you for watching today's episode. If you enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe for more fascinating stories about Africa's extraordinary cultures, hidden traditions, and remarkable people. Until next time, stay curious.